What's happening? What the hell? Firstly, guys, why is my camera like that? I'm so sorry, guys. I'm a disgrace. Clearly, you lot are getting to see some 4K footage of my face right now because why was the camera so zoomed in on me? Big up to everybody in the chat. As always, what's happening, people? Welcome back to my channel and another. The zoom is mad right now, guys. I don't know what's happening. Look, I'm a disgrace. I'm even zooming in more. That's better. That's better. I feel like my head don't look as big. Big up to everybody in the chat. As always, you know what it is. Friday evening, so it's another Friday night lights. And boy, guys, do we have a bit to talk about because we're going to preview, obviously, the Nottingham Forest game that is tomorrow, 3 p.m. kickoff here in the UK. But also, there's been some new developing news over the last 24 hours. Transfers, injuries. Are we just the most unlucky club right now, or are we just a mess? It's one or the other. I don't know which one it is. So maybe you guys can help me decide whether we are just a mess or whether we are just unlucky. Big up to everybody in the chat as per usual. But I'm going to start with, to be honest, the most recent news that I saw today. I was out having a cheeky Nando's. Out in Nando's, having a cheeky Nando's. And I saw reports that Manchester United was linked. And I had to rub my eyes because I thought, what the hell? Ain't no way we are linked to Ryan Bertrand. Absolutely no way. Absolutely not. 34 years old. Should be heading for retirement soon. There is absolutely no way why we should have even been linked to him in the first place. And guys, I'm going to do it again. My camera's really bothering me. Oh my God, I'm just a disgrace. I think this should be all right now. Yeah, this is more like it. This is more like it. This is more like it, guys. Now I can feel better. I can stop looking at the weird stuff on my screen right now that was really bothering me. But guys, Ryan Bertrand to Manchester United is an option that the club are looking at as of today, following the news that Luke Shaw will be expected to be out for probably what is about, they're saying 3-ish months, could be less or it could be more. But I'm sorry, there is no absolute reason on God's green and beautiful earth that we live on that we should be linked to Ryan Bertrand. I'm sorry, I will take a lot of players, but I will not take him. And I mean that in the politest way. I mean that in the most respectful way. I mean that in the most nicest way. There is absolutely no reason we should be going for Ryan Bertrand, guys. Honestly, we've been linked to a lot of crazy players in the last, I'd say, 12 months, last 18 months, or even in the last 3, 4, 5 years. But I think Ryan Bertrand, for me, takes it with the most outrageous possible link. And you know what? With the way that the club is set up and with the way that the club is going, I genuinely think it could actually happen. I can genuinely see it. I can see it unveiling right in front of my eyes after the game. They suddenly announce that here we go, Ryan Bertrand to Manchester United. I swear, guys, I will come on stream. I'm not kidding, guys. I will come on stream and I will punch myself in the face. I will come on video, clip this, bookmark it, come back and say, Mina, remember when you said this? Mark my words, guys. If we get Ryan Bertrand, I will come on live stream and I will punch myself in the face. Because there is absolutely no reason we should be going for him at all. Big up to JP says, United, aka bedroom settings, pure mess, no organisation. Big up to Carla says, Bertrand is class for the under 21s. Big up to Axe says, better than most of our defenders. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on, honestly. Big up to Eric says, let's go. Hope you enjoy the game tomorrow at Old Trafford. I don't know what it is, to be honest. Between Johnny Evans and Ryan Bertrand, I feel like I'm in 2011. I feel like I'm in 2011. I'm not joking, guys. It's 2011. Everyone's wearing backpacks. People are doing the Dougie. Like, we are actually in... What else happened? What was a milestone event in 2011? The London riots happened. If you lived in London, you'll remember the London riots happened. This is literally the vibe that I'm getting. This is literally the vibe I'm getting. Johnny Evans, we're moving like a retirement home. We are moving like a retirement home, honestly. And you know what? We can have it, actually. It's an interesting conversation because I've seen debates flying around, seen it actually flying around before the news actually came out regarding Luke Shaw and whether or not he's in the discussions of being called a world-class fullback because of his inability to stay fit. Bearing in mind, I think he's actually missed a lot of games. It's ever since that leg injury that he got in Europa League, he's just not been the same. And I remember someone saying, I can't remember who it was, I think it was Aaron, a YouTuber, content creator, that said that Luke Shaw's inability to stay fit is a reason why he will never say that Luke Shaw is one of the best fullbacks in the world. And this was before his injury. And now I'm seeing his injury and I'm thinking, I hear it. But also, what is going on behind closed doors? And why are our players dropping like flies? Malacia was injured coming into pre-season, so he's not an option at left back. Then Luke Shaw gets injured. And bear in mind, the whole reason why, bear in mind, guys, the whole reason and the debate around signing a centre-back, people were saying we didn't need to sign a centre-back because we've got Luke Shaw as an alternative option alongside having Lindelof and obviously Harry Maguire. But now Luke Shaw's injured, which means if Varane gets injured or Martinez gets a suspension, whatever happens, Lindelof comes in, we are running thin in our backline. We are running very, very, very thin. Obviously, in terms of left-back options, Diogo Dalot can play there. He's played there before. He used to play there for Porto. So that is also an option. And of course, Alvaro Fernandez, which for me, and I want to hear everybody's thoughts. Who do you guys think should get an opportunity at left-back? For me, I think Alvaro Fernandez deserves a chance. But, and a big but, I don't see Erik ten Hag doing that because I genuinely do not see Erik ten Hag giving a lot of these academy prospects or academy graduates opportunities. I don't know what it is. I don't see it happening. I think he's got his ones that he's, every year I think he picks one person that he's going to promote from the academy to the first team. Last year that was Garnacho. This year it would have been Kobbie Mainoo. I don't see it happening with Alvaro Fernandez. They wanted to send him out on loan, might still be sending him out on loan to Granada. But watching him last season at Preston North End on loan, I just feel like he could be a good option. I genuinely feel like he could be a good option. He could get forward, he can defend. Obviously, his physicality is the only questionable part, but when was Luke Shaw ever known for physicality? He can overlap, he can play inverted, he can play as a wing back. Great at crossing, absolute phenomenal crosser, can get forward and defensive duties as well. So I think he deserves a chance. Whether he would get a chance, I highly doubt it. I think tomorrow, and we're going to talk about the Forest game and in terms of predictions and whatnot, I see Erik ten Hag playing it safe and going for Diogo Dalot. Now, the only other alternative, obviously, aside from Ryan Bertrand, aside from him, being linked to him and all that craziness, the only other alternative option would be having Lisandro Martinez play left back. But again, I don't think Ten Hag will experiment just yet, especially because I feel like tomorrow, I'm not being dramatic, guys, I think tomorrow's a must win. And not only is it a must win, we need a good performance. We need a good performance. At the least, I would say 65 minutes of consistent football. Otherwise, guys, it's gonna be peak. It's gonna be very, very peak, as they like to say, especially with the games upcoming after that. We got Arsenal next week. I don't even want to think about that. Honestly. And then we got Brighton as well. It's not looking good. Big up to Nuru, says, love the energy. I appreciate it. I don't even know where I got this energy from. I am exhausted right now. I just want to go to sleep. I was contemplating not to do a stream, but I said I ain't a disgrace. KG called me today randomly. I was on Sky earlier this morning, and then KG called me saying that he saw the clip, and he said something to me that made me laugh. He said, "You looked like a good girl on screen. You are a nuisance." And I said, "Thank you very much." He goes, "No, but why do you look like you're good? You're nice, You look like a polite person when you're on TV, but in real life you're a witch." I was like, damn, thanks, bro. I appreciate it. I very, very, very much appreciate it. Tom Huddleston to fit in for the midfield. We're just collecting players. We are just collecting players at this point. I'm doing the Dougie Rihanna t-shirts in the club. Honestly, we're wearing, you know them 3D glasses that used to, if you're from the UK, you know, it's glasses like this, 3D glasses for cinemas, yeah? And people used to pop out the lens and just wear it as an outfit. That's what we're doing right now because we are clearly stuck in 2011. All that's left is for us to go and be linked to Schneider or someone like that. That's all that's left. Big up to G, says big up Mina, Reckless Delegation in the chat. Shout out to the Reckless Delegation moving over here because, you know, the Reckless Delegates are not getting content over on the other channel. Big up. We are in big trouble. Shout out to Steffi Jenks in the chat as always. Big up to MUFC 14 says, I'm sure Forest will outplay us just like Wolves. Hopefully we get away with the result. It's actually funny talking about Wolves because not talk about Wolves, so it's funny to talk about Nottingham Forest because in their last 2 games they've looked a lot better than they did last season. They've looked a lot better than they have last season, and that's why I'm not that confident. We're going to talk about the game, talk about match predictions and everything, but that's why I am not as confident as I have been the last 2 games. I was confident going into the Spurs game. For what reason? I don't know, because we got our asses handed to us, excuse my language. And I was actually confident going into the Wolves game, just thinking that we could have done a better job than what we actually ended up doing. Of course, was I wrong? So now I'm thinking I have this theory where if I overestimate how we will perform, we end up underperforming. So maybe if I underestimate it this time round, we might overperform tomorrow. We're going to actually get into that. Big up to Mike in the chat. As always, shout out to Keegan saying it's looking peak. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. Did you show your photo with Mary? Nah, I didn't. But I can show it again. But on the topic of tomorrow, because this is not actually going to be a 1-hour stream, it'll probably be just a bit shorter than that. My prediction, I'm going to start with formation-wise, who I think will start. We're expected to see Rasmus Højlund on the bench. Does that mean that this time Martial could start and Rashford plays out wide? Bearing in mind Martial played in the behind closed doors fixture against Burnley earlier in the week, so he's clearly getting match fit. I think across the whole starting 11 and just the team in general, there's a general question about fitness amongst the players, how they are, how unfit they are. The tempo of the game is too fast for them. They can't keep up with opponents. So I'm hoping that it's a bit different from the previous game against Tottenham Hotspurs, because I'll be honest, guys, we know that it was not good. I don't want to see, if there's things that I don't want to see tomorrow, then I will say simply number one, I don't want to see us creating a lot of chances. I don't want to see us creating a lot of chances, number one. Number two, if we ain't scoring, if we are not creating chances, and I don't want to see it. Honestly, I don't want to see it. Sometimes it's very heartbreaking to see the stats after the game, and it says like, after first half, we'll see it say 15 shots, 2 on target, and then suddenly we lose 2-0 or we lose 1-0. Like, I don't want to see that. We saw it so many times last year in Europa League where we scraped 1-0 wins after creating 30 plus chances. But this weekend, if we're creating chances, I need to see goals. That's my first point. Second point is in terms of left back options, with Luke Shaw being out, I would go with Alvaro Fernandez, but I would not be surprised if Erik ten Hag chose to go with Diogo Dalot. Stick to what you know for something that, we need 3 points, of course. So Erik ten Hag might opt to go for the easier option. He might opt to go for what he knows. Sometimes it's easier to go with what you know rather than trying something new or trying something a little bit more risque. But I would go with Alvaro Fernandez in my honest opinion. But the back line will probably be Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Lisandro Martinez, and then probably Diogo Dalot. Midfield will probably be, I will say, Eriksen. It will probably be Eriksen and Casemiro, Bruno in the 10. I'm going to say Rashford on the left, Anthony on the right, and Martial up top. I don't know why. I feel like Martial could start. And the reason why I think Martial could start, guys, hear me out. Not that I'm saying he's not fit, or I'm not saying any of that. But with Rasmus Højlund on the bench, could make his debut. I just feel like it's more realistic for Martial to play 60 minutes then come off, rather than for him to come on in the 70th minute, especially if Højlund is on the bench and is match fit. Keyword, guys, match fit. Big up to G, says Martial comes in tomorrow, scores, injured by next week. It looks like he can see into the future. Martial match fit don't belong in the same sentence, man. Come on, big up to Jason. Obviously, people do not rate Martial at all. You know what? Whenever I talk about Martial, I hate it because I see myself falling into the same little. I fall into the same little cycle of, you know, one thing I hate is people saying, if this person was fit. That's what I used to say all the time about Pogba. I used to be like, if he was fit, if he had the support around him, if he had this, if he had that. But really and truly, we need to just let bygones be bygones and admit the truth to ourselves. We need to be honest with ourselves. We need to accept that Martial probably will not be playing. Like, this guy, the fact that he has not played 90 minutes in God knows how long. I can't even remember last time I seen him play 90 minutes. But the fact that he hasn't played 90 minutes, and here's me thinking he's going to come on tomorrow, play 60 minutes after not playing at all during pre-season. And I'm here complaining about the match fitness of the team. I'm here complaining about the tempo of the game, how slow we're playing, how we're just booting the ball up when it gets to 60, 70 minutes. We get tired. We're tired of passing around. We ain't got the legs for it. So we just boot the ball upfield and hope our striker holds it up. I'm a disgrace for even putting Martial in the starting team. I'm actually a disgrace. But the reason why I'm going with that formation, or Rashford up top, maybe Sancho on the left and Anthony on the right, I will be shocked if Garnacho starts again, if I'm being honest. Not that he doesn't deserve it. I feel like he's just getting into a groove of stuff, especially so young, in terms of his ability as well. I just don't think, and I do think if he gets benched, that will kind of hinder his confidence, because he'll think like, oh, 2 bad performances and the manager benches me. But I think he will be more impactful off the bench. I genuinely think that. Imagine a fit and healthy and energized Garnacho running at, Serge Aurier with Rasmus Højlund in the box in the 75th minute. Could be a possibility. It is not out of the realm of possibility. So that, for that reason, I'm saying Sancho on the left and of course Anthony on the right. Is that my ideal starting? No, but that's just what I think Erik ten Hag will go with. So that's my predicted lineup. I think Erik ten Hag will go with that. Let me see what's the chat saying. Pick up to Lil Yo-Yo, says Mina, let's play the hand game. Amrabat, you already know where I stand on the Amrabat thing. It's always a thumbs up for Amrabat all the time. You already know. He's just sitting there. He's sitting at home, yeah, probably doing nothing right now. He's probably playing COD, playing FIFA, doing nothing. Because he's not training, he's not playing matches, he's not doing anything with Fiorentina. They are trying to cash in on him ASAP, of course. And I saw a report of his brother saying that he's got offers from Saudi, which I'm not surprised. And he should just be, you know what, guys, what would you do if you were Amrabat? Honestly, yeah. If you were Amrabat, would you not actually stop training and playing games with your club, waiting for Manchester United? And I feel like the more things go on, I genuinely believe the way that I see it is that Erik ten Hag has been promised stuff. People have not fulfilled those promises, whether it's Murto, Arnold, the board, etc. They've not fulfilled those promises because really and truly, last year, the summer transfer window we missed out on quite a few of our targets. This year, we've missed out on quite a few targets. Kim Min-jae was the first player we were targeting. Didn't even put in an offer for him. We were just chatting to him and his agent. Don't know why they were doing that. Second option was Disasi. Same thing as well. Look at that. Sirens. Like clockwork. 20 minutes into the stream. It's like clockwork over here. But I feel like, because I saw a debate online saying that getting rid of Ralph Ragnick was the worst thing that Manchester United could have done. They should have kept him as a DOF consultant, whatever. And the way that I see it is that Ralph Ragnick probably would have wanted the club to buy 20 new players. He probably would have wanted them to buy 20 new players. Ten Hag himself has wanted how many more players? clearly the miscommunication would not have been between Ten Hag and Rangnick, even though there was a bit of, a clash of heads between them. No pun intended. I'm not saying that because Ten Hag's bold. I'm just saying it as a figure of speech, yeah? Don't accuse me of boldism, yeah? Guys, don't accuse me of boldism. But there was a clash of heads, of course, and then as a result, Rangnick walked. Even if Rangnick stayed, I think he still would have walked. And that's why, if things continue like this, if we are needing a midfielder, yeah, and we are going to sign Bertrand instead, yeah, Ten Hag should walk. Not right now. I'm not saying right now, but I'm saying if it continues like this and the club keep kind of hanging him out to dry, where he needs a midfielder, he needs a backup centre back, all of that stuff, I would not be surprised if Ten Hag decides to walk in a year or two. Like, I would not be surprised, because I feel like sometimes they are setting him up to fail. I'm sorry. How does your left back get injured, guys? And I know you lot are probably going to think, why does she keep bringing this up? How does your left back get injured and you want to bring me Ryan Bertrand? How? Where is Ryan Bertrand even playing? My guy's at Leicester City. How are you at Leicester City and you got 4 appearances over 2 years? That's disgraceful. That is disgraceful. He never hit 50. The only time he's played more than 50 appearances for a club. Allah. This is even worse, guys. This is even worse. Big up to Ryan Bertrand, of course. No insult meant here. But this guy has been on loan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The number that Martial wears on his back is the amount of times that Ryan Bertrand has been on loan. That's the amount. This guy he has no stable home. He was at Southampton, obviously. I remember that stint at Southampton. He was there for quite some time. And that's what he was there, to be honest, at his prime. But he spent 9 different loan spells to end up at Southampton. How? Obviously, Southampton were in the league at the time. But I'm sorry, guys. That is just disgraceful. That is just disgraceful. And now he obviously barely plays for Leicester. 9 loan spells is mental. That's Ethan Laird settings. And that's no insult to Ethan Laird, because Ethan Laird is actually still young. He's actually still young. But this guy did 9 loan spells. He did 9 different sentences at different clubs. That's crazy. To then join Leicester. Oh, he's actually left Leicester, funnily enough. He left upon his contract expiring, which means he's a free agent. Which means he's free. That's the only reason. Big up to John Boy says, how could someone even think of him? Free. This team only want to buy people that cost a little bit or don't cost anything at all. These times we're spending 15 million euros on a Greek goalkeeper as a backup option. Make it make sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. Johnny Evans and Ryan Bertrand is the best defenders we could get in this market. In this market. When Chelsea were signing players in January who were ready to come and join in the summer. Malo Gusto, albeit he's a right back, but still, I still stand firm in my argument. This is absolutely embarrassing. Then we signed the Chelsea doctor, the Arsenal doctor, sorry. How we signed the Arsenal doctor and suddenly all our players start dropping like flies? I did, however, have a conversation with someone who said to me that they have a theory that is to do with the American preseason tour, and the pitches in America are known to cause injuries. Now, I didn't go into too much context because that just sounded like a conspiracy theory, but apparently it's actually true, and the pitches in America actually cause injuries, which is why a lot of the players who have got ACL injuries or have had some sort of knee injury in the last couple of weeks are all players that have played out in America during preseason tours for their clubs. But I'm sorry, guys, there is no way in hell, absolutely no way. We're linked to Amrabat in midfield. We're actually linked to quite a few midfielders, Gravenberch, etc. And the best we can get in defence is Johnny Evans and Ryan Bertrand. There's no way that's the best we can get. 34 and 35 years old. 34 and 35 years old. The easiest way to put it is when Ryan Bertrand probably made his senior appearance. What year did he make his senior appearance? That's what I need to know. He made his senior debut. Well, he joined Chelsea, obviously. Did loan spells. So he made his senior debut in the 2006 season, guys. Yeah? 2006. Who is the youngest player in our team? Or who is the most youngest new signing that we bought? Garnacho, for example. Garnacho, yeah. How old was he in 2006? Let's just put the easiest way to put it into perspective. Garnacho was born in 2004. He was 2 years old when Ryan Bertrand made his debut. And that's the best we can do. I'm sorry. We have to call a spade at this point. And we have to call out the club for their nonsense. And I think the last 24 hours has just been chaotic. Even online, obviously, people are always reactionary. But with the Nottingham Forest game tomorrow, I genuinely do not know what the result will be. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to predict. I feel like I'm at a stage now, and it's only the third game of the season, so I wouldn't be too kind of like negative or anything, but I feel like I'm at a point already where I do not know how games are going to pan out. Last season, I kind of, I could give predictions, I could give estimations, I could try guess, who might score if we would concede. Now, I genuinely do not know what is going to happen tomorrow, especially because, like I said, Nottingham Forest look a bit impressive in comparison to last season. Imagine Man City and Arsenal looking at those two, let alone Brighton and others. Pathetic. Not even being funny. Leicester didn't even want to keep him and they got relegated. They didn't even want to be like, help us come back up. Stay 1 year, we'll give you a 1 year extension, help us come back. They didn't even want to do that because my guy made 4 appearances in 2 years for them. And you know what? He's probably lucky because he's probably won silverware. Somewhere. Let's see what honours he has. See? He's a Champions League winner! He was part of the Champions League team with Chelsea. Oh my days. I remember he played at Chelsea. I don't remember it being when they won the Champions League. He was there obviously for 11 years. So of course. Oh my days. He's got a few accolades. I give him that. I don't know how much he played a role in it. But he was part of the PFA Team of the Year in 2014-15. Won the FA Cup Community Shield with Leicester. Won the Europa League with Chelsea, won the Champions League and won the FA Cup. So really and truly, all he's missing is a Premier League title, and this guy would have a quadruple. He would have a quadruple of trophies. He'd have 2 European Cups, 2 domestic cups, and of course the Premier League. God damn. We are broke looking for free agents while Maguire cupping his ears, holding the money, holding the club for ransom while saying, show me the money. Can we blame all of this on Maguire? I feel like blaming Maguire is just the easy cop out. And even that's coming from me, someone I'm not the biggest fan of Harry Maguire, but I do think that blaming him is just the easy cop out, guys. It's an easy cop out, man. Come on, you lot know that. If you had a job today and your club and your workplace want to, send you to a new company, but you've signed a contract with them, a binding contract where they have to pay you money, you're going to want your money. And this is what I don't get. Forget even like Maguire holding us ransom. Where is all this money that they tell us we save when we let players go? When we let Paul Pogba go, there was the whole idea of, we're saving this much in wages. When we let Jesse Lingard go, when we let Cristiano Ronaldo go in the middle of last season, the whole conversation was, we're saving this much in his wages, we might be able to invest it in XYZ. Where is all of that now? We've gotten rid of how many players? Nearly 8 players. We haven't even raised 30 million there. At best, 30 million I think is what we've raised. So we can say it's Maguire. We can say it's him holding the club holding the club for ransom. It's the club that's still targeting free agents. I'm sorry, but there's better free agents in the market, yeah? There's better free agents in the market than Ryan Bertrand. And you know what? I'm going to actually think free agents transfer market. We're going to have a look at the free agents right now. Number 1 on the list is David De Gea. That's jokes. David De Gea, number 1. I'm sorry, but Sergio Ramos is a free agent. You saying you wouldn't take him as a leader in the dressing room? And you'd rather take Ryan Bertrand? No way. Obviously, Eden Hazard, I don't see that happening. Axel Tuanzebe, ex-Manchester United player. Alexis Sanchez, but he's about to go and join Inter Milan again. There's not really... The free agents market ain't really saying much. I can't lie. Bakayoko. Bakayoko is an option. I'm just looking at defenders, to be honest. Morgan Schneiderlin. How many ex-United... Why is there so many ex-United players that are still currently free agents? Clearly, that is the correlating factor between that's the correlating factor between free agents. Phil Jones, another ex-Manchester United player. I'm sorry, guys. Ryan Bertrand is not the best option that we could get. I would play Lisandro Martinez at left back and put Sergio Ramos there. I don't care. Obviously, he'd get butchered in the Premier League for the speed and everything. But I'm looking at this free agency list and it's really not popping like that. Next year's free agency, guys. Next year's free agency is popping. That's all I have to say. Next year's free agency is gonna be booming. But that's next year's problem, innit? I ain't gonna look at it now. I'm not gonna look at it. Because that's me just gonna get my hopes up and all of that stuff. But like I said, I don't think the money issue is anything to do with Harry Maguire. Big up to Eric, says, oh, we're winning tomorrow, we better not sign Bertrand or I'm letting them hyenas loose in those English streets. I'm not even being funny, guys, yeah? Ever since the advertisement for the third kit has come out, you know the one, the Devil advert, the Devil promo with, I think it's Roy Keane that's narrating it. And it says, oh, you want to be a devil. Nothing has been normal at the club since. Nothing has been normal in the club. When in the advert they're talking about, oh, you sold your soul, blah, 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 blah. Nothing's been the same. Word to Drake, guys. Nothing has been the same. I'm thinking, is there a correlating factor between the release of our third kit and the demise that we are undergoing right now? I don't know. It feels like it could be linked. I feel like it could be linked. Big up to Sal, says, this is life under the Glazers. You know this. I can't wait. Tomorrow there will be I think a sit-in from the 60th minute from fans protesting against the Glazers. The Glazers need to go. We want Glazers out, said we want Glazers. The Glazers have to leave because the way that the club is just being run is it's not a sporting project. It's not a sporting project. It's not a football project. It's a business model. And so many people will say, oh, look how much the Glazers spent. Firstly, every penny that has been spent by the club is money generated by the club. It's revenue generated by the club. That's the first point. The second point, the Glazers have never obviously invested a penny. They haven't even invested a pound. They claim everything they invest, they claim it back on expenses. E.g., they spent, what was it, 250k flying to the FA Cup final, to the men's and the women's one, and the Carabao Cup final. They spent 250k each flight. I didn't even know private jets cost that much. But clearly I ain't rich, because that's a problem I ain't never had in my life. But that's another thing that they did. What else? They've done so much stuff that it just does not make sense. Honestly, it does not make sense as to why they are still at the club. And the biggest thing is right now, I saw an article the other day, I think it was on The Guardian or The Independent, that said that the biggest thing that is, because it's been nearly, 2 months now? Nearly 3 months since we heard anything about takeover news. I'm hoping that we don't get any takeover news this weekend because I've got a very busy weekend. So I wouldn't be able to stream. So hopefully, if Glazers, if you're watching this, if you're going to sell the club, make sure it's a day that I'm free. Make sure it's a day that I'm free. But with the takeover talk, apparently the siblings, all these 55,000 Glazers, however many of them there are clashing heads as to who wants to sell and who doesn't want to sell. And obviously it has to be 100%. All of them have to agree to sell the club. Sheikh Jassim bin Al Thani is getting frustrated because he's just sitting around twiddling his fingers. Sir Jim Ratcliffe getting frustrated because he's just sitting around twiddling his fingers. And that's another thing. Then on top of that, you want to link Ryan Bertrand to the club and you want to sign Johnny Evans because you don't want to spend money. Goes back to the first point about not investing their own money. Whatever the club can generate in revenue is what they are willing to spend. Not a penny more, not a penny less. Not a penny more, not a penny less. And it's honestly so frustrating that I'm starting to get annoyed. Now is the point where I'm starting to get frustrated. I'm starting to get annoyed. And most importantly, I'm starting to lose my confidence in the season. Tomorrow's game, like I said, I don't think it's going to be an easy game. If I'm being honest, I'm gonna go with my prediction, and I would like to hear everybody else's predictions as well. I'm going to say it's going to be like 1-1. Maybe 2-1 if we win. But then again, that's me saying we're going to score 2 goals. We've only scored 1 goal in 2 games. How can I now think that we're going to score 2 against Nottingham Forest? But I will say it's a 1-0 win, Man United. 3 p.m. kickoff, sun shining, I hope, tomorrow. I'm going to go 1-0. I'm going to go 1-0 or 2-1. Guys, I'm too indecisive. Oh, I can't make up my mind. I keep saying 1-0, 1-1, 2-1. 1-0, I would take 1-0 if it's a good performance. If it's a good performance, not a scraping a win. If it's a good performance across 65, 70 minutes, I will take that. If it's 2-1 where we're fighting for our lives and we just about win, I wouldn't take that. Of course, clean sheet, Andre Onana settings. I will say 1-0. 1-0 would be great. 1-0 would be nice if it's not something that we kind of just have to work hard for. If it's something that we can dictate the game, the tempo, control, take it by the ears. I think Bruno might play better without Mount, if I'm being honest. Oh my god, that's another thing I didn't talk about. That's another thing I did not talk about is Mason Mount being injured. And now then we're still trying to sign a defender instead. How? We already needed a midfielder in Amrabat, even though we got Mason Mount. But now Mason Mount is injured. I hope Hannibal Mejbri gets the opportunity. I really hope we get to see him tomorrow because I genuinely feel like he's ready for first team football. Saw it at Birmingham City. We see it at Tunisia. Played at the World Cup. Played good. I think he was number 3 in terms of my loan spell rankings. Number 1 was Amad Diallo at Sunderland. Number 2 was Alvaro Fernandez at Preston North End. And then number 3 for me was Hannibal Mejbri at Birmingham City. So I hope he gets a chance. I mean, at this point, what does he have to do to get a chance? We are running very, very thin in the squad. I mean, we had 2 goalkeepers on the bench last week, which I don't even know what the heck. I don't even know what the purpose is of having 2 defenders on the bench. But of course, I think we'll play Eriksen and Casemiro. But Hannibal could come on. He could definitely come on if the game needs a bit of, a bit of aggression, a bit of passion and all of that kind of stuff. 3-0 win. Big up to Mike. Very optimistic. Mike is a very optimistic person. Believes in the team and is very confident. I don't see us scoring 3. I'll be shocked. I will be shocked if we score 3 goals. Now the staff is getting involved. This is becoming unattainable for the Glazers. It's only a matter of time before the staff start to turn on them. Bear in mind the way that the whole Mason Greenwood thing was handled or has been handled. I don't think sits lightly with a lot of staff. If you guys want to read the in-depth article on The Athletic, you can read it. I'm not going to regurgitate what was said, but employees were not happy about that. Big up to Rishan says, big up Mina, what's your level of optimism after this weekend? We have Arsenal and Brighton next. I'm not looking forward to them games. Yeah, about that. The good thing is that I'm not on United View for the next couple of weeks. So even if we do hold a couple L's, I don't have to sit there and the thing is, United View clips always end up going viral if we lose against Arsenal. All the time. It happened last season and it could happen again this season. That's my first point. Second point is my levels of optimism is not there. I was hoping when the season started that we would hit the ground running against teams like Wolves and Nottingham Forest. Obviously, we'd have to battle it out with Spurs. I thought we'd still beat them. I thought we'd had 3 wins, so coming into the Arsenal game, we'd be coming in on form. Is rather the opposite, and it's the same, and it's pretty much like that for them. They look pretty good. I was watching Declan Rice, when was it? Against Crystal Palace. And I was thinking, he was just doing like the most basic stuff, picking up the ball from the back line, distributing. He went to the left, then the ball came back to him, then he switched it again to the right. And I was like, must be nice. It must be nice to have someone to do that. I don't care if he was worth 105 million. I can't believe so many people downplayed Declan Rice for that long. Honestly, footballing wise, he's a great footballer. So Arsenal are quite complete. Obviously, Jesus is coming back from injury as well. Saka, Odegaard. Big up to Kevin De Bruyne, because I saw an interview he did with Sky Sports and Joe Tomlinson. Big up to Joe, where he was asked, I think, who's the best creator in the Premier League, and he said Bruno Fernandes. Then he asked him about, like, what about Odegaard, etc. He was like, nah, Bruno is number one for me. KDB knows ball. KDB knows ball. So tomorrow I'm hoping Bruno has a good game. But, sorry, back to Rishan's question. I say we get 4 points. I think we will draw one game and we will win the other game. Now, which one of the other, I'm not going to say. I ain't going to say which one we're going to win, which one we're going to draw. But, or it could be 2 draws. However, if I come back, guys, and the worst thing is, guys, yeah, my schedule is just looking mad. So the Brighton game, I think, is on the 16th, which I'm going to have to watch it whilst I'm at a family wedding. And then the Arsenal game, I'm at a gathering with my friends. So I will be doing streams, of course, after the games, but it will just be a bit after. So I just need United to, I just need good vibes, guys. I need good vibes. And to be honest, by the time we play both games, I think the transfer window will be over. Or is it transfer window? I think the transfer window is done by the Arsenal game. Let's see. Friday. The transfer window ends on Friday, guys. 6 days for the transfer window. I'm sorry, guys. We're not signing anyone in 6 days. It takes us about 2 weeks to make one signing. It took us 2 weeks to do Mount, 2 weeks to do Onana, 2 weeks to do Rasmus Højlund. We got 6 days left. We ain't signing anyone, guys. I'm sorry. I know I'm normally positive. I know it's, my channel is all about good vibes, all of that kind of stuff. But we need to be honest with ourselves. We need to be truthful. I did not realize that the window ends next Friday. But I've just looked at the date and I've realized it's the 25th of August, which means the window ends on like the 1st of September. And that's not that far away. United view do better when Man United lose. It's a win-win for them. I don't even know what the hell that means. I don't know what the hell that means. Mina, we need that prediction energy on UV. You're gonna do us like that. I'm sorry. Big up to G. I'm sorry, but it's just over the last few days, guys, I've been sucked out of all my optimism that I've had. I think for me, the final straw for me was Ryan Bertrand. I know, if I count today how many times I've said Ryan Bertrand on stream, I think I've said it more than 20 times. But for me, the final straw was today when I saw the links to Ryan Bertrand. That's when I said I can't do this anymore. The optimism is out of the window. It's full on negative. It's full on negative vibes. And when I say negative, it's not me slating the manager or slating the players. Just this club, I will not let the club dictate my emotions anymore. I will not let the club dictate how I enjoy my day. So today was a nice sunny day. I saw the news about Ryan Bertrand. I put my phone away, went on about my day, and I told everyone, just enjoy the summer, enjoy the sun. Do not let Man United and Ryan Bertrand ruin your mood. But I still think my predictions, a draw and a win. And that's no L's. I'm not saying any L's. Between all our injuries, which do you think is the most significant? I think it's Højlund, as it leads to Rashford being played out of position. I think it's Højlund as well. Number one, the reason that you stated, Rashford being played out of position, but also number two, I feel like it's a space that we've been needing to fill for many, many years now. So I said this I've said this every stream. I don't know, A, who signed us off to sign a striker that was injured, but B, who signed us off to sign a striker last out of all the incomings that we had. Rasmus Højlund should have been on first target. He should have been the first guy that we brought in, especially because it would have taken him time to integrate with the forward line, with the midfielders, etc. And that would have given him at least pre-season to recover and then maybe actually be ready for when the season starts. But because we got him a bit later into pre-season, as a result, his injury has kind of, trickled on into the season. I don't know who let us buy a striker that's injured, if I'm being honest. You look at and it makes me so angry, guys, because it's just annoying me so much when I see Manchester City, yeah? They lose some good players, but they get good players. They lose Laporte, they get Vardiol. They lose Mahrez, they get Doku. Come on, guys, come on. Like, we lose half of our squad last year. Yeah, we had how many out? We lost our most balanced midfield that we've had probably in the last couple of years. And you lot might not agree, but that Matic, Pogba, Herrera midfield, yeah, was our most balanced in terms of technical ability and their qualities. We lost Matic and Pogba within that window. It took us how long to get Casemiro, but then at that point we had no one to partner him. We had Eriksen on a free. Short-term solutions. We spent the entire window chasing Frankie de Jong just for Frankie de Jong to put up his middle finger at us and run away. So the way that I see it is, if for transfers in the transfer window, I feel like if in the transfer window, if you are targeting a specific area, a specific position, and it's a very important one for you to fill, I feel like that should be your number one priority. Getting a goalkeeper was always going to be there. That option was always going to be there. Getting a midfielder, the option was always going to be there. Getting a striker was number one priority for me going into the transfer window. Instead, we signed him last, even though he was the most expensive out of them all. We signed him last, and that whole injury thing, I think, has messed us up. And as a result, Rashford being played out of position, no chemistry across the front line. We've seen how well Rashford and Luke Shaw play together on the left-hand side. Now, if Rashford does play on the left, he's going to have to play with Dalot or someone else. Alvaro Fernandez, Martinez, whoever we play. Big up to Brandon Williams, because he's gone on loan, finally, to Ipswich. Hopefully that's the last we see of him at Manchester United. I saw his name getting thrown around in conversations yesterday about left-back options. I'm sorry, put me in left-back over him. And I mean that in the most politest way. You lot know, I respect him. He's a footballer, wears the United shirt, but he is not Manchester United quality. If people can have the same noise for McTominay, they had the same noise for Fred, and then last week everybody was saying, where's Fred? We needed Fred against Spurs. We shot ourselves in the foot, of course. There's more to life than Man United. The Bertrand news was despairing, still hoping we win tomorrow. I'm hoping to. That's why I'm saying it's going to be 1-0, good performance, or 2-1, just about get it over the line. It's going to be 3 points either way, and that's my predictions. And guys, I'm going to wrap it up 10 minutes early because I got a bunch of errands still to do. It's going to be a long weekend, but I will be back tomorrow with things we learned after game week 3, following up on the Manchester United versus Nottingham Forest game. A lot of content coming across the weekend, of course. Might do some watch-alongs, guys. Long bank holiday weekend here in the UK. There's going to be a lot of football on Sunday and even on Monday, so I might do some stuff there. Make sure you guys hit the like button. You already know what it is. Road to 1K here on this channel. We will get there in due time. If you have not, check out my most recent YouTube short. Would appreciate it if you slap a like button on it. It's a clip from my recent appearance on Sky Sports talking about Manchester United women and Mary Earps. Of course, I hope you guys all have a lovely weekend. We will be back tomorrow with things that we learned of after game week 3. Big up to everyone, guys. You already know what it is. It's your girl Mina. Until next time, guys. Peace.